Welcome back to the show. It's now time to meet the All-CSRA defensive team.
Tyrone Truesdell, defensive line, Lucy C. Laney High School.
To me, I just like the contact of the sport. You don't have to be gentle or nothing. You can just go ahead and just get all your anger out and everything.
At 6'3", 325 pounds, Laney's Tyrone Truesdell commands the attention of his opponents.
And he is so strong. He is quicker than people actually think. And I know offensive coordinators and offensive line coaches have a handful in planning for him.
He's caught the eye of more than just his opposition. Truesdell has D1 offers from Florida, Auburn, Clemson, Ole Miss, Louisville, and Carolina.
That's definitely going to be fun for me, and just to hear how loud the stadium gets.
He's had a lot of big moments in his career at Laney, but one really sticks out.
The one that actually had me pretty up and going was when I got my first fumble and actually ran it back for a touchdown.
But don't let his size fool you about his personality.
Most people, they'll think because of my size, like it'll be like a big, oh, he just want to bully, and nah, I'm pretty easygoing.
Ask him anything about anything, and he'll go into depth, whether he knows what he's talking about or not, but he will go into depth about something, and he always has something to say about everything.
Trey Lawson, defensive line, North Augusta High School.
Yeah, making things happen, sacks, tackles for losses. I mean, over 20 tackles for loss, and then double-digit sacks, and even with that, getting double-teamed a lot.
Trey Lawson recently committed to Florida State to play defensive end, but this past season, he helped out the Yellow Jackets a lot at defensive tackle.
It wasn't that hard. It was just, I mean, it's just a lot easier for them to hold you because it's 2 against 1, and all they do is go down on you. You ain't got no gap to go into.
But as Coach Thomas pointed out, Lawson still had a big season on the stat sheet.
Yeah, and let's make sure we mention his 1 interception for a touchdown. He wants to make sure we mention that. But that was a big play for us in the AIKEN game, trying to turn things around for us there as well. But yeah, he was a playmaker for us on defense, no doubt.
And the 6'7", 250-pound senior can't wait to make those plays happen on the next level.
I mean, I've always wanted to play in the big stadium, play on TV. I'm talking about like playing on Saturday, ESPN, Spotlight game, ESPN game. That's always something I wanted to do.
And he'll be taking his signature hair with him to Florida State.
Yeah, that's my style. I can't cut it off. It's a part of me now.
Yeah, it's all Trey. And like I said, he's proud of it, and so if that's his strength, then so be it.
Can't nobody make me cut it, so it ain't gonna get cut. Cameron never seen nothing as good before.
Melton Brown, defensive line, Jefferson County High School.
He's been a centerpiece here for 4 years. He's the total package, and it's just wonderful to have a kid like that come through here.
Come on, KJ! Jefferson County's Melton Brown lived in opposing teams' backfields this season, finishing the year with 65 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. But the most important thing to know about Melton Brown is football doesn't define him.
Football is just it's a talent that I have to play, but it's not who I am. My main goal when I came to high school was I'm going to graduate, that's number 1, and I'm going to go to college.
While Brown dominated on Friday nights, he was also busy in the classroom so he could make that dream a reality.
People look up to him in our school, and he sets the example for a lot of people, not only, again, athletically, but academically through his hard work, and his grades speak for themselves.
Football is his platform, and with it, Brown will become the first person in his immediate family to go to college.
I just want to bring that hope back, especially to my hometown, Willister, Georgia. And I just want to do great things in that place and great things in this county, period.
DEON Priester, defensive line, Allendale-Fairfax High School.
I don't think he's touched what he really could be. I mean, he potentially can be that good.
Anytime we needed a play on defense, he made it. Anytime we had to run the ball to a particular side, we put him over there to do it.
DEON Priester is a game wrecker, and for the third straight year, he's an all-area defensive lineman, finishing his senior season with 126 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles.
I feel like I slowed down just a little bit, but other than that, I got stronger. When I see the jet sweep coming, and I blow the tackle up, and I blow the pulling man up, hit the dude.
And one of the toughest guys in the CSRA, well, he's a mama's boy at heart.
Anytime he gets hurt or bumped or bruised, he's gonna go running to mama, or she's gonna come running down out of the bleachers right behind the bench to make sure he's okay.
As for what's next for one of the area's best players, Division I football, and then hopefully dental school.
People get shocked when I tell them I want to be a dentist. They be like, whoa, like you gonna be a big dentist, kid's gonna run from you.
Colby Campbell, linebacker, South Aiken High School.
The first thing you notice about Colby Campbell is the hair.
My favorite player has always been Troy Polamalu, and I said what better way than my senior year than going out with hair like he went out, and so I just said senior year I'm going to grow it all the way out.
And Campbell played like Polamalu this season, racking up 202 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 7 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries, 3 sacks, and an interception as he led the Thoroughbreds to the state semifinals for just the second time in school history.
He's been a 2-year captain, and there's a reason why. I mean, he is the heart and soul of our team. He wants to win. He wants to probably win more than anybody on this team. When you got a guy like that leading you, that's a good deal.
I come out every day looking to get better. A day that you don't get better is a day you get worse, so it's a day lost. And there's somebody out there that's getting better on every day, so you got to be there competing with them.
And while he's one of the fiercest competitors on the field, he's one of the nicest off it.
He's just a genuinely good guy. He loves his coaches, he loves his team, and he's hilarious. He's a really funny dude.
Jasper Lott, linebacker, Williston-ELKO High School.
We wouldn't have had the year that we had if it wouldn't have been for his play. He's the face of our defense, you know, and you know, we're going to be lucky enough to have him back next year.
Jasper Lott was the best defensive player in his region this season, with 129 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 blocked punts, 1 forced fumble, and 1 safety. He stuffed the stat sheet for Williston-ELKO.
He was around the ball every play, you know, and for us, you know, we want to be really good on defense, and he proved this year that he was the best defense player we had on our team.
And becoming the best defensive player for the Blue Devils didn't happen accidentally. Lott plays linebacker every down at practice, even on scout team.
I like to challenge my other teammates as well, and I like playing football in this. Don't like just to sit around not doing nothing.
And not only is Lott a workman on the field, he also gets it done in the classroom with a 4.0 GPA, number 2 in his class.
I just want to be like the number 1 or the top of anything I can do. So if it's in school or in football, I try to be the best I can.
MATAEO Durant, linebacker, McCormick High School.
He'll be, I believe, the biggest name to ever come out of McCormick. Probably the most humble kid I've ever been around with the skill that he has.
MATAEO Durant is one of the top prospects in the 2018 class in the area. After making the All-CSRA team as a running back his freshman year, Durant made this year's team as a linebacker. In just 6 games this fall, he racked up 74 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. He also rushed for 1,275 yards and 16 touchdowns.
I love to run, but then again, when you get a big hit, the crowd just goes crazy. I love to get the crowd into it too.
Not only is Durant one of the best athletes in McCormick history, his head coach Rush Snyder says it's everything else he does that makes him so special.
I almost had to check to see if he was a robot sometimes, just to see, you know, with the, not just that, with the 4.0 GPA, and never been written up in school, never a discipline problem. Just goes out of his way to help people.
And what's something you probably didn't know about one of the area's best football players? He loves animals so much, he may major in zoology.
I love animals, and I think it'll be a fun adventure for me to learn more about animals and how they affect the environment and the climate.
Christian Tutt, defensive back, Thompson High School.
Heck of a year for us. He was involved in almost every aspect of our team.
But we didn't think we'd get to see Christian Tutt play here this season. He transferred to IMG Academy in Florida over the offseason, but had a change of heart.
I was missing my family a lot. When I came home, I was set to go back, but then my mom and dad made a decision to just keep me here and just finish it out with Thompson.
Well, thank you, Mom and Dad. Because of you, we got to witness plays like this in 2016. And it was all worthwhile as Tutt helped the Dogs make it back to the state championship game.
It's a great experience, going to the Dome and, playing with these guys. So, this year was good, and, we're trying to get back to the next year.
We've been throwing around Tutt's name since 9th grade. And while it's cool to be a 5-star recruit with offers from the nation's top programs, it gets kind of exhausting, too.
Yeah, it's still crazy. It gets crazy and crazy as it goes, especially getting close to your senior year. So, I just gotta, stay focused.
So how does he keep his mind clear then?
I'm a ladies' man.
What is this, the hair?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just lightning.
CAIL Jackson, defensive back, Burke County High School.
CAIL Catman Jackson was a ball hawk in Burke County's secondary, finishing the year with 6 interceptions, 9 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles, and 4 tackles for loss.
I watched a lot of film, and when the offense line up in a certain formation, I expect to play. I think about football every day, all day.
And it's that dedication that sets him apart.
He's one of those kids that, boy, you wish you could take his mentality and his devotion and dedication to the team and put it in everybody, and you probably have a chance to be pretty doggone good every year. I think he's carried on a great tradition. I think he's done it well, and I think he's left a legacy that's going to allow other guys behind him to do the same thing.
And as much as CAIL said he'll miss high school football, I'm sure his classmates will miss him showing off his moves just as much.
I take everything like I'm on a football field. Like in class, when I walk past this, I make a cut move or something. I'm just a weird person.
Denaje Huzendove, defensive back, Allendale-Fairfax High School.
He's been a godsend. He transferred in 2 years ago, and he knew our kids from way back. He grew up with a couple of them, and it was just a good marriage. He blended right in with our guys.
After playing mostly wide receiver at South Aiken his freshman and sophomore seasons, Denaje Huzendove transferred to Allendale-Fairfax, where he found his home as a defensive back, earning back-to-back All-CSRA honors and finishing his 2 seasons at Allendale with 15 interceptions.
It has to be catch interception. I love to catch interception. My favorite play is an interception. Favorite play of my high school career is an interception that I caught here for Lower State.
Now, after a tremendous high school career, Huzendove is heading to play at Georgia Southern, hoping his success provides an example for his sisters.
I got 3 sisters, so when they look up to me, I want them to see that you can do this too. Like, you can be successful.
As for the hair, don't plan on it going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't see myself cutting my hair anytime soon. I put a lot of time into it. I hope I like it.
Rocky Israel, defensive back, Ridge Spring-Monetta High School.
Rocky's just a playmaker, and anytime, you know, we can get the ball in Rocky's hands, and you know, good things are going to happen for Rich SPRING-MONETTA.
Rocky Israel may be 5'10", 134 pounds, but he doesn't play small. Israel had 61 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 7 pass breakups, and a school record 9 interceptions this season.
I'm very proud of it. You know, I think it could have been better, but still proud of it. Just a ball hawker. That's what I consider myself.
You know, I guess they looked at Rocky's size and tried to throw the ball to Rocky, and you know, he just took advantage and made some plays.
And how does a playmaker like Rocky Israel get ready for the games?
Usually after we warm up, me and my DB buddies and my receivers get in the middle of the field and do a dance routine. But I was never in the middle of the dance, you know.
You got any dances you want to show off or not?
No, not a dance.
You just watch them dance.
Yes, sir.
Brendan GRIBEK, punter, Lakeside High School.
We actually started out working with him doing rugby punting, and we kind of went away from that and just went traditional with it, and he can boom them.
I just tried it differently, and then I hit about 5 good ones in a row, and I was like, wow, I can try and work on this, build on this.
There must be something about Lakeside and punting, because this is the 2nd straight year our All-CSRA punter has been a Panther. But as just a sophomore, Brendan GRIBEK takes the honors during his first year as a punter.
Probably the biggest thing is that he's just an athlete. He's a great athlete. If he keeps at it, he could be one of the best in the state.
GRIBEK, like many other football specialists, was a soccer player first. So with it came a new nickname.
Last year, he was a 9th grader, and you know how we kind of razz the 9th graders and make up nicknames for him. One of our coaches last year just started calling him Kicky, and you know, it's kind of stuck with him, and I think he likes it.
It's just something they've always called me. It's something, I mean, I've always liked it, I've gone with it, and it's just kind of stuck with me, I guess.
What didn't stick as much was GRIBEK playing wide receiver.
Well, to be honest, when he first wanted to, I saw him as such a valuable tool. I didn't want him to try it. You know, I was trying to keep him away, and I tried to deter him from it. But, you know, he stuck with it, and we tried it. But, hey, you know, he found his niche with us.
TYRECE Nick, athlete, STROM Thurmond High School.
Just what he was able to do with a football is like no other. Probably the best athlete, pound for pound, I've ever coached. Just natural ability.
I can't explain it. Like, it's fun. Like, it's fun to play football when you know faster than everybody. But on the next level, I know it's gonna change.
You need to get creative to describe TYRECE Nick's game. Adjectives like athletic and electrifying sometimes don't do it justice.
Are you kidding me?
You know, having a guy like Tyrese, you're not limited in what you can do.
Bunch of people say I play like Lamar Jackson. That's a great player. Great player. You only see players like that probably once a decade.
Nick threw and ran for over 1,200 yards this season, but really made a statement early on during Game Night Live when he ran for 5 TDs against Midland Valley.
I knew once he broke contain, that would be, you know, a little dangerous. He really showed, you know, how athletic he was, just the plays he made kind of by himself. And that was a game where he definitely came into his own.
But here's the thing, Nick played wide receiver his sophomore year and wasn't big on playing quarterback when it came up his junior season.
Had a bunch of quarterbacks, you know, good quarterbacks, all made to the next level, and you know, I didn't think I was ready to play quarterback.
You know, at first he didn't want to play quarterback. We kind of had to convince him and kind of told him he was the best option we had. He didn't really embrace it at first, but once I think he got the feel for having the ball in his hands every snap, he really embraced the challenge and the job.
Defensive team.